This festival, the 125K 700 event, drew 93 entries. We're down to a final table of 8. They're gonna take glory, this beautiful trophy, and almost 3 million up top. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the final table. Seed number 1 from Belarus with 1.9 million. Please welcome Mikita Badziakouski.
5-time champion, 26 million in Triton earnings, looking to claim his 6th title, Mikita Badziakouski.
In seed 2 from Madeira with 1.8 million. Please put your hand together for Joao Vieira.
The man is in form, fresh off his maiden title in the 150K for 4.6 million. Would be an epic feat to pick up a 2nd title here for Joao Vieira.
Seed number 3 from the US with 3 million. Please welcome Ben Tollerene.
One of the greatest to have ever played the game of No Limit Hold'em. Ben Tollerene on the hunt for his 3rd Triton trophy here in the 125K.
Seed number 5 also from the US with 600,000. Please put your hand together for Dan Smith.
Another true legend of the game. 25 million in Triton earnings, 2 titles and 33 cashes. On short stack, but can fight his way back in. Dan Smith.
Seed number 6, we have our chip leader from Germany with 5.1 million. Please put your hand together for 𝐿𝐴𝐽𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐴𝐽𝐿.
The man's got a flight. He wants this over and done with. He wants to claim another title and the 3 million that comes with it.
Seed number 7 from Thailand with 3.1 million. Please welcome Punat Punsri.
2-time champion, number 1 on Thailand's all-time money list with 17 million in Triton earnings. Punsri looking for more gold.
In seed number 8 from Malaysia with 575,000. Please welcome 𝐼𝐴𝐻.
One of the best players on tour without a Triton trophy. Has his work cut out coming in as one of the short stacks. But if anyone can spin it, it's going to be 𝐼𝐻.
And last but not least, closing our final table in seat number 9 from the US with 2.6 million. Please welcome Chris Brewer.
Another 2-time Triton champion, has 9.2 million in Triton earnings. Brewer looking for his 3rd Triton trophy as well.
The button has been drawn in seat number 7 to Punat. We still have 30 minutes remaining of 50,000, 100,000, 100,000. I wish you all the very best of luck. Pavel, shuffle up and deal, please.
So there we have it. Button has been drawn. Punat Punsri running golden. Gets the button straight off the bat. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's showtime. There's your chip counts. And you can see just exactly what Randy and I were referring to. You know, Volsang with 51 bigs. He gets to lean on the likes of Punsri, Tollerene and Brewer. And then, you know, Tollerene and Brewer also get to lean on the likes of Badziakouski and Vieira, given that Smith and Lee are both on just 6 big blinds. And the reason I mention this, the difference between 8th and 6th is the better part of $270,000. But out of that 8 there, I do not see a single name that is going to be shy to pull the trigger when and where it is deemed necessary. All of these guys are going to be happy to take profitable rejam spots. Going to be playing GTO. These guys are always going to be going for the win. I don't think there's a name on that screen who's just interested in laddering a couple of spots. All of these guys want the gold. They want the 2.994 million that comes with it. Volsang, chip leader with 51 bigs. Average stack of 23 big blinds. 30 minutes left on the level. So expect a bit of caginess, Randy, as you mentioned earlier on, until Smith and Lee make a move.
The shorter the clock gets, the more money you made.
Sounds about right.
You are not wrong.
Go time for Dan Smith.
Hand number 1 of the final table is the short stack Tied short stack. Dan Smith with ace-10. Fearless.
Yeah, he has to jam rather than leave some back because he doesn't want to incentivize the big blind to get curious. But obviously, two queens is straight in there. Dan could be gone on the first hand of the final table.
Even against a quick call is feeling optimistic.
Well, Smith, no stranger to the highest stakes. Always gunning for the title, looking for the win. He's not interested in a couple of ladders. He wants to start off with a bang, get the wheel spinning in the form of a double up, and then figure things out from there. Does pick up
Wasn't really
additional
thinking about the
outs
straight, but I'll take it.
on the 9-8-6. 7 or an ace. Now remove 2 of those because Brewer has the queen of diamonds in hand. Hand 1. 1 player down. Dan Smith jamming his 6 big blinds from the hijack with the ace-10-0. Standard stuff all round. He's going to be heading to the cash desk to pick up $413,000 for his efforts. And with that, our first pay jump of this final table. Everyone guaranteed $540,000 now. Brewer moves up into second. Smith gonna head to the cash desk, get an early night, come back, play some PLO with the boys tomorrow. Will not be picking up another title here, at least in this event. Does cross the 25 million in Triton earnings mark. Title number 3 will have to wait. So, kicking things off with some fireworks.
He plays all the high stuff.
Yeah.
He plays all the high stuff.
Will that theme
His stream's
continue?
actually quite entertaining.
Yeah, so 1 short stack down. No jockeying between those 2 shorties. Still, though, the middling stacks need to be very careful, given 𝐿 is playing a 525K stack.
It's going in. No, it's not.
Straight into the muck.
Wow, suited king for 5 bigs. Hitting the mark. And I wonder if that's a byproduct of the fact that he does have, what, 5 more hands to kind of find a better spot. It also gives him 5 more hands to potentially ladder another spot.
Of course, and maybe he finds a better hand that he can chip up with. There are 20 big blind stacks out there that would probably reshove high equity spots on the chip leader, so there could be a collision where he does get a pay jump. Nice raise from Brewer with Queen 3 offsuit. And as we mentioned, you know, the middling stacks, they can't really do too much. It just would be 𝐼CM suicide to be defending very light with 𝐿 still in there with crumbs.
Now, call me a crazy conspiracy theorist, but is it possible, Randy, that 𝐼CM was invented by the crazy guys, you know, the really aggro guys, to try and convince everyone else that, oh, you know, you gotta tighten up this 𝐼CM thing, you gotta be snug, and then they just get to continue blasting and running the table over. You know, I'm a bit suspicious, man. Maybe 𝐼CM was invented in a lab somewhere, okay? All right? I'm just saying, I mean, has anyone even proven if this thing exists? What
But
even is it?
I don't know the origins of how this model came about.
Exactly,
so
Randy. I'm telling you
there's
now.
a non-zero chance, you're right.
Listen, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, my friend. Okay?
The door. No, put the door on the middle.
They're listening to us.
Put it in the middle.
Vieira ace-jack suited.
He has faith in himself.
Does he want to induce with a hand as strong as this? Like go polar with like a 2.7x?
You called
There
it.
we go.
It's weird, huh?
Like he wants bats to slip up.
What?
Do something
What he doing is,
crazy.
like really weird.
Yeah, so Vieira realizes there's more value in trying to accumulate chips when there's still 7 remaining because the tournament is very top heavy, right? The big prizes for the top 3, podium finish.
Can I please have a cold one of this one? Like from the ice thing?
Is this one of yours?
It's yours. I'll go bottom. I'll put it on the bottom. You get top.
Ogdog over on YouTube is saying ICM is the Bigfoot of poker.
6-4 tail.
If I can make
With Banima saying the CIA invented ICM. I think we're onto them, Randy.
table was a little deep.
Yeah, now I'm gonna Google the origins of this model.
See, I'm telling you, dude.
Where?
Want to know who created it? Was it like Adamo and a couple other guys? Yeah, we can really just get some extra value. Obviously, your tournament life is very important because if you're no longer in, you can't get those pay jumps. Over to Vieira. Jack 8 off suit is out chipped by Tollerene. Imagine he's going to try to get some limps through here in this spot.
I don't want to harp on about how decorated this final table is, but 𝐿𝐴𝐻 is the only player at this table without a Triton trophy, and he's got 16 final tables under his belt. Between the rest of the 7, you've got Mikita with 5, Punat with 2, Brewer with 2, Tollerene with 2, Vieira with 1, and 𝐬𝐻𝐵𝐿 with 1 as well. I mean, pretty stacked final table. Interesting spot here. Blind v blind. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of small blind limping with the presence of Lee on just 5 bigs.
Top pair, good for the covering stack. Seems like a pretty good spot to charge the pairs, the straight draws. But he's going to check it. We've seen a lot of interesting lines from Tollerene. Bit of balance.
It's been incredible to watch. Yeah, I mean,
It's a very unique style, right?
Yeah, we've been forced to eat our words on a few occasions where, you know, some spots have just seemed standard to us, and then you just see Tollerene deviate massively.
A little 200K bet, 2/3 pot. He's sizing up a little bit because he doesn't want to hear like some 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 or 𝐴𝐵𝐻 call. Trying to shake those out for the bigger sizing.
Of course, Ben going nowhere. Vieira does have equity. Inside straight draw. So there's the call, 700 in the middle as everyone else watches on.
I would say it's actually not credible for Vieira to represent the ace. For him to bet 2/3 to clear out equity seems, with an ace, doesn't really seem likely. Like if he was looking to shed with an ace high, he's probably betting a little bit smaller.
And in a weird way, although I guess having the 8 of hearts isn't great, but Jack Kai does have Showdown on this board.
Sliver. I think what's going through Vieira's mind is, does he want to represent the 9 or not? It is plausible that he could have it with the flop check through, 2/3 on the turn. I mean, he did some really sick bluffs over on the 150K that he did win.
550.
And he's going to try 550. Repping the 9. He believes he can shut out the queen and 5 X's.
Is that exactly what he's repping here, or would he ever bet the size of the queen?
I don't believe he would bet the size of a queen. Then the queen is just targeting the 5x, right? Seems a bit ambitious. He must believe that a queen would strongly consider folding, but it's not.
Decades.
And if the queen's not folding, that bet is not as effective.
Ben Tollerene up to second in chips, and I assume, Randy, that bet wasn't designed to try and get a queen to fold, right?
I mean, maybe he thought, I'm not sure what's going through Joao's mind. Clearly he was trying to shake out the 5 and the better high cards. Maybe he thought the queen would fold. I don't know. Problem is, he's repping such a thin value range, 9x of course, and sometimes people are like, if it's only 9x, I guess I've got to look you up because it's just so few combos.
Well, with that, Vieira moves down to 6th. He's now on 11 bigs, so got this really weird dynamic where you have 𝐬𝐲𝐵𝐺 with 51 bigs, then a drop-off to Tollerene and Brewer. Tollerene with 38, Brewer with 35, Punsri with 31. Then another big drop-off to Mikita, who's in 5th with 16. Then another drop-off to Joao on 11, who's in 6th. And then the final drop-off to 𝐼𝐴𝐻, who's in 7th with 5 big blinds. So the real pressure on the likes of Mikita and Punsri right now, who really are handcuffed because of ICM. Now, I do want to let the viewers know, because I've seen a few people ask, that we are live. We are here, live from Shinhwa World, landing casino on Jeju Island. Triton Super High Roller Series, the final No Limit Hold'em tournament of the series. Welcome. 𝐼𝐻𝐽𝐾𝐿 in the booth alongside myself, 𝐻ENRY for this one.
Is it what I think it is, Henry?
I think it's time for a mystery hand, my man.
Yeah, 4x from Tollerene. He is out-chipped to start this hand, which probably throws away some of the more marginal, dusty hands, especially off of 40 big blinds or so.
Now, I have to ask, Randy, what is the idea behind the 4x from the small? Is this Tollerene's way of just kind of saying, look, if I am going to get involved in pots with you, I really want to get rid of your marginal holdings that can't afford to call 4 big blinds pre because you've got me covered?
Yeah, so obviously the immediate thing is when he does have a good hand, he's building the pot a little bit more. The main thing is he is out of position throughout post-flop. He's trying to negate that advantage, as if he was to make it 3x, 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾 is going to call a much larger portion of his range. And, it is very difficult to play out of position, especially if you have a marginal-ish hand. For now, though, ace, king, deuce, 2 clubs. Big range advantage for Tollerene. However, the gut shot is in 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾's hand, so he likely is never going to fold to a flop c-bet.
Cool. Comes with half pot, Randy, and immediately gets uncomfortable for 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾 because Tollerene, even though he's the one that's second in chips, out of position to 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾, he's just kind of signaling to the chip leader, hey pal, do you really want to play a monster pot against me with a marginal holding on a board that favors my range over yours? 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾 wants to continue.
Yeah, so there's a big nut advantage for Tollerene given, 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾 didn't raise pre-flop, hence why you saw the bigger c-bet sizing.
Deuce of hearts on the turn, pairing the board. 1.8 out there. How do we feel when you're in Tollerene's shoes about going for value when you've continued for half pot and 𝐬𝐻𝐽𝐾's called?
I mean, a lot of your value now chops if you both are holding the ace. So there's definitely a lot of merit to kind of checking to induce from straight draws and club draws, but you need to rely on those hands to stab the turn when checked to, which I don't think you can too often, so I can definitely see reasons to still bet an ace right now.
Just north of half. 1 million to 1.8.
I mean, if 𝐸𝐺𝐿 had a king, this is already comfortable. He doesn't even have a king. An ace would obviously have to call, with the kicker being a king out there. I don't really see Queen Jack calling another barrel. It's a lot of his chips.
Given how polar the 4x is pre-flop, the trashier parts of Tollerene's range, surely 𝐸𝐺𝐿 not going to keep him honest here with just queen high.
It would be pretty bold to make a call of just Queen Jack high.
Get your guesses in the chat, by the way. What do we think? Has Tollerene got the goods, or is he just bullying the chip leader?
Wow, is 𝐸𝐺𝐿 calling?
𝐸𝐺𝐿 just thinks he has the best hand, Randy.
Exactly. Of course, in case he doesn't, could draw to the 10. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, practically a blank. Unless his opponent somehow had ace 4.
So given that it's practically a blank, can we safely assume that if 𝐸𝐺𝐿 had the best hand on the turn, he still has the best hand on the river? And how does that impact his river decision now? I mean, the only hands, I mean, you mentioned, you know, a 4-3, a 5-4, maybe a 5-3 did get there in terms of improving on the river.
Yeah, but I'm not even convinced that Tollerene's going to 4x those type of hands, right, from the small blind. I feel like those hands is a little bit more likely in 𝐸𝐺𝐿 saying if they're clubs. It seems like it would be such a crazy bluff from Tollerene if he was to make it, and it kind of seems like he's going to do so, just because 𝐸𝐺𝐿 has a lot of ace-x that might just make crying calls, you know? I have no idea if Tollerene, like, what bluffs is he taking with this line? Does he expect an ace to ever fold here? Like he's repping ace-king?
I don't know, Randy. All I know is
It's crazy, right?
it's Ben 86's world, and we're just all living in it.
Did Tollerene expect a king to fold the turn when he bet $1 million? I think that's a bit unclear. I think I'd be pretty surprised if Tollerene was bluffing the spot. But the thing is, he's sick enough to do so.
He's just got 6-7 of clubs, bro.
That's insane. If he does, he folds. What has he got? Is he going to show a bluff? Oh my god. He got 9-5 of clubs through?
That's insane, man. This guy is an absolute stud.
That takes balls, man.
It does.
I gotta give credit to 𝐸𝐺𝐿 for even calling the turn correctly with Queen Jack high as well. But oh my god, that pan of poker. Two amazing players, clearly.
Tollerene, after just a few hands of play, has taken the chip lead. 𝐸𝐺𝐿 dropping down to third. I mean, tied third with Thailand's Phuntaphuntri. But let's just take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just a moment to appreciate what we just witnessed. 7 left. The start of the hand, Tollerene second in chips, opening into the chip leader and willing to triple barrel it off for pretty much his tournament life. He was willing to die by the sword, go out in 7th, gets the fold, now chip leader on the hunt for his 3rd Triton title, which in itself is an insane achievement. But given the fact that he's only been playing Tritons post-COVID, and he's on the hunt for his third is pretty incredible.
If I sat down at Tollerene's table, I'd probably would ask for a refund. I mean, oh my god, that was nasty. Like, when's the last time you've seen someone try and represent such a narrow range and get it through at a final table?
Yeah, and I guess in a weird way, Tollerene, having respect for 𝐽𝐽𝐻𝐿 to have hands like Queen Jack, Queen 10, maybe some Jack 10, and I guess the nice thing about a hand like 9-5 of clubs is you are unblocking the Queen High, Jack High flush draws.
True.
And yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, he just caught him with a gut shot, right? Queen Jack High. Like,
I mean,
that was a great call on the turn, but he just got outplayed on the river. One up.
I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe that is something that we need to include, is a refund button. If Ben 86 is at your table, you know, you register a tournament. The tournament staff take you over to your table. You see Ben 86, you just press a button, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, here's your 125K back."
Yeah.
We understand. We know why you don't want to play anymore. Fantastic stuff on display with millions of dollars up for grabs.
Okay, Chris Brewer, 2.5x. That must mean that 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭's in the big blind, who is the micro stack. Wants to dissuade that big blind from getting a great price to realize equity, and down to 9-3 offsuit.
Do you know, I only just realized as well
Again, 𝐬𝐝𝐿
how crazy that bluff is, because 𝐽𝐽𝐻𝐿's got a flight to catch, which gives him even less fold equity, because he wants the tournament over and done with in a couple of hours, dude.
Yeah, it was a pretty sick bluff. Because it was what, ace, king, deuce, deuce. Like, what if 𝐽𝐽𝐻𝐿 just has the ace there and it's like, all right, I mean, hopefully you're just trying to move me off of a chop. Call. It's a soul read. Badziakouski, ace-10 offsuit under the gun, gonna open. 𝐾𝐨𝐧'S invested a small blind. He's got Jack-9 suited. It's not a bad hand. Question is it better to take this spot or wait for a round of free hands? Does give it up. 2 5s now for Brewer. It is against under gun, so it's a bit tricky on whether to reshove this one, although there will be so much pressure against Mikita because 𝐾𝐨𝐧 is so short. Bit worried though, given the UTG open. Great news for Mikita, as he probably wouldn't call his jam and ace high.
Ace of Spades window card. Beautiful development for Bads. Looking to just pull away from Lee and Vieira. Would have to assume that 𝐼𝐶BET gets it done most of the time, although, you know, 5s, some connectivity of the 8-6, but gets it under the gun range. And given the pressure that Bads is under, just have to kind of give this bet respect, and yeah, 5s do hit the mark.
Yeah, if he was to peel, it would be like against a button raise, which has a lot more unpaired hands that don't have an ace, but against UTG off of that stack, it's very ace-x heavy.
I may have messed up. I'm unsure.
I might have been supposed to Damn, I don't know.
Come on, Chris.
Sorry, man. Not at all.
The whole purpose of voting is to let you do that, you know.
Brewer is brutally honest,
Handle
man.
the wolf, I definitely would have. But I don't know with my hand.
Brutally honest at the table. Just wears his heart on his sleeve. Talking of heart, this man right here, tournament chip leader, two-time champion, coming with the 2.25x.
Okay, Vogel, King, Jack of Hearts. Now, of course, there's a lot of ICM pressure on him, but he can still flat this off of 30. I don't believe he'll go for 3-bet. Hand plays quite well, especially because Tollerene is he grabbing more? Oh, he did 3-bet this one, because I was going to say he also allows Tollerene, who has a super loose range from +1, to have dominated hands, right? I guess he just doesn't expect Tollerene to 4-bet him? I mean, he doesn't know he got bluffed that mystery hand not too long ago.
Tollerene bows out. Doesn't need to pick a fight with a hand like ace-4-0. Randy, I recently summited the tallest mountain on the continent of Africa, 5,895 meters tall to be precise, and my face wasn't as covered as Vogelsang's is at the summit, dude. I've got pictures to prove it, okay? This guy looks like, I don't know, like he's about to climb Everest. I jest, of course. But
Maybe he will. Just gonna try to ship this $3 million first prize first. King Jack offsuit. But not 8-9 suited. Curious to see if he wants to get involved off of his 30-ish big blind stack. Gonna stay away. No appetite to get involved. 𝐼𝐻𝐻 so short. Yeah, Vieira can't even consider Queen 7 off.
You think I want to play shot there?
is Lee trying to recruit players for the short deck tournaments? Randy, are you reading YouTube comments?
Someone's asking if you went up Kilimanjaro. That's the mountain, right?
I did. We can talk more about that later on because...
You going to take Vogel saying?
What, up Kilimanjaro?
He's got aces.
This depends how he plays this one, Randy.
Okay.
What is Lee? Lee's on something.
He's having a time of life.
He's got 3 big blinds.
I mean, obviously his decisions have been very easy given how short he is.
6.
Doesn't seem like Vogel's going to get action. Although, chip leader's in the big blind. 10-6 off.
Surely 10-6-0. Yeah, okay. Thought about it, but thought better of it. A nice little bounce back from Vogel, back up to second. And yeah, Randy, it was Kilimanjaro, although in the group chat you thought I'd climbed Everest.
Hey.
Which was, that did make me laugh. We've got this Triton group chat for the viewers at home, and a few days ago, well, I say a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, Randy reached out and in a very randy way said, "Hey Henry, congratulations. Can't wait to see you in Jeju and hear all about your Everest."
I mean, I saw the Instagram photos. That was the only mountain I could name. So, you know, at least it's a mountain.
At the time, if it was anyone else, I would have just assumed it was a needle. It was like, a disguised needle. But because it was you, I knew it was sincere. It did make me laugh.
How long does that journey take?
9 days total.
Days? Are you serious?
It took 7 days to summit and then 5 days to descend. There's Bads looking to summit this tournament. Oh, wow. King Queen hitting the mark.
Yeah, makes sense. Gotta respect the ICM. 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 super short. It'll snap into the muck, too.
Let's just pick up the money in the middle. Where Banyama said that they carry you up the mountain. I mean, they were close, man. They were close. There's definitely a point where I thought, well, maybe they're gonna have to carry me down, bro.
Yeah, I think if I was on that trip, I wouldn't be alive anymore. Sounds like it was very tough. 9 days. Barely play a multi-day tournament.
No, it was an incredible experience. You'd be able to do it, Randy.
You could just
I believe.
FaceTime me and I can try to pretend I'm there. It's good enough.
God, Lee, Queen 6. He knows he's going to be forced all in the next hand.
Gonna wait for it. Sometimes it's a miracle. Someone else will bust. I guess Tollerene just opens Queen 3 offsuit, right? Yeah. Good luck trying to defend out of the blinds.
我有可能要推嘅，我唔知，但係根本上應該唔知。
10-9 suited for Punsri. Certainly a defendable one.
His stack is alright. It's not immediately at risk, so he can definitely defend. It's just much more dangerous if he was playing like a 10 big blind stack where it's very likely Tollerene could put him in posts, and 10-9 suited doesn't exactly flop very strong that often, so you do want to have a lot of stack to play for. Top pair looking not too shabby.
Top pair and a gut shot. Rags for Ben, but does have the opportunity to just lean on Punsri, given that Lee is going to be forced all in the next hand. And lean he does. Third pot. That 5-time champ, Danny Tang, in the background.
Giving 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 some support.
Yeah, here for his good friends, 𝐾𝐨𝐴 and Punat.
Game plan here is to keep it tidy and just contain the pot, check call. There's really no reason to raise.
The fans are calling for an 8. How about a 10? Give Punsri trips. Ben drawing dead.
I'm sure it's crossing Punsri's mind to put in a small lead here. His hand doesn't need as much protection against the gut shot, given, of course, he has a gut shot himself. Like checking this one.
Yeah, on a 9 he boats up, on an 8 he makes a straight.
Plus, of course, he doesn't really want to open the door for potentially all the chips to go in, just in case.
Ben does wave the white flag. Backdoor clubs do get there.
I could see Ponsri putting out a little blocker bet here. He does have some bluffs, like the 8 and 9x. Obviously, he doesn't really want to open the door, though, to get jammed on. That would be a disaster of 10-9 without even like a flush blocker.
In before this goes, check B200. Cry.
Yeah, there are situations where Ponsri is just hating life. At the moment, he's just between, is it better for me to contain the pot, or do I just seek value? He's going very small, 325. Trying to get paid off by a random pair.
Less than third pot.
You would need to expect Ponsri to fold a 10 for you to consider making a play here, and that just seems so unlikely. So the queen 3 into the mug. There you go, Thailand.
Pum mi kwam suk makrab. We love it.
What does it mean again?
Means I'm very happy.
Okay.
Oh, he's on,
Dude,
oh, you're on break.
I mean, I just need a finger on my pulse whenever Tollerene's in the tank, man,
I mean, you
because
can go during the tournament, right? When you're cut off or something.
I mean,
It's Omaha, it takes a long time.
Under the gun +1 is the spot you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fold and then you just go. You
just
can even
feel
tell
like
the
the guy
table.
is capable of everything.
I mean, when you see the 9-5 of clubs bluff in that mystery hand, you just can never count him out on
Yeah.
having a bluff.
Queen 3, 3 of clubs, all in, baby, let's go.
Yeah, he's got this very, like, controlled aggression. Like, that's his style. I like it. Makes him very unpredictable, because you're not really sure which gear he's on. So second in chips is Vogel with 10-9 offsuit. Now 𝐾𝐨𝐬 is practically forced in with any 2 from the big blind. There's the chips. What's he got?
Head.
Best
He's
hand?
ahead. He's got Queen 6. He's ahead.
Now? You're fuck me. You can't go down.
Exactly the same. Okay now. And then now I win for that's one.
Tight ball.
Four, 7, 5. Lee just needs to hold. So far, so good. 72% of the time, it's going to be staying alive.
Looks good.
Make that 80%.
Eight.
Chop it up, Randy.
How about 100% for 𝐾𝐨𝐬? Good for
game.
475K.
Yeah, it gives him an orbit. He can fold this small blind, find a spot in the next 5 or 6 hands.
For 1 second I thought we split. 1 second.
I mean, the guys have been
You only split up the same calls on the board twice.
Deuce we split.
here since 1 p.m., Randy.
Yeah, they've been grinding quite a long time in this
I just
125K.
keep quoting Lynn Ashby lately.
It's still the early goings of the final table.
Yeah,
You a chance you
1
watch
a.m.
this.
local time. And we haven't even got to the big bucks.
And yeah, sure, it is very late, but I kind of feel like all of these guys are very used to or have played very long hours at some point in their career.
Sure, I agree, but I don't think that takes away from, you know, the mental fatigue. They're not operating at 100%, right? We're 11 days in. For some of these guys, it's been, you know, multiple 10, 11, 12-hour days in a row. Would be almost unhuman-like to be able to function at 100%. Although if there's anyone that could do it, Ben 86, he's just chilling right now.
I feel like Ben 86 and Badziakouski have grinded some very long hours.
Yeah, how many 30-hour sessions do you think Ben's had where he's just like open sat the lobby back in the day?
Especially Badziakouski did.
And then I realized I was
I know he
gullible.
grinds the Macau games, or did. And you have to play like longer than 24-hour sessions for those.
Could be a bundle.
A few people asking about Santosh Savana. When did he get knocked out? Different tournament. Same day, though. Main event is over and done with. We wrapped that one up about 2.5 hours ago. I definitely recommend you go back and watch that one at the conclusion of this event. That 100K main. Saw Santosh come fourth for 2.1 million. It was China's Wang Wenji taking it down, beating Jungle Man. Daniel Cates heads up. Wang walking away with 5.5 million, as well as the Triton trophy, and of course, 𝐬𝐲𝐽 timepiece.
Oh, decision.
9, 1.4, 1.4.
Obviously, A6 suited crushes the small blind jamming range, but we consider ICM now.
Oh, very honest reaction from Bads. Started the hand with 15 bigs. Has 2 invested, 1 in the form of the ante, the other in the big blind. Vieira is on 8 bigs. 𝐼𝐴𝐻 is on 3. Bads is the type of player to play for the win. He knows if he calls and doubles up, he moves up into the top 3 and puts himself in an incredible spot to go on and actually win this tournament. However, can't ignore the fact that Lee is on 3 bigs. Vieira is on 8. The difference between 7th and 5th is $330,000. It's real money. And he knows that Brewer is going to be super wide here.
Yeah, the 6 is a little bit of a problem because Brewer often has like 1 in between. You never have 2 overs with like A6 suited, which changes the equity quite a bit. You can see Brewer still has 39% with the 1 over, 1 under kind of thing of the 6. He's going to make the call.
Let's go, baby.
Mikita.
Bads is just willing to play for the win. It's why he is so widely respected by his peers. Makes him so tough to play against, so tough to push around. Because in a spot like this, he just clicks cool. If he thinks it's profitable, he clicks cool.
Yeah, thinking about the future game. Here we go to a flop. That's amazing from Mikita.
Well, hold on, because Brewer does have a pair. Drawing to 2 pair. Backdoor straight potential, backdoor flush potential. Would be a dirty way to do it. All of those backdoors removed. 5 outs once for Brewer to do the dirty on the 5-time champion, Badziakouski.
1.77.
You got to give.
You really do.
Tip your hat to Mikita.
Take a bow. ICM be damned. Mikita is here to play for the win.
The big pay jumps is in the top 3. You know, 3 million for first, 2 million for second. That's $1 million pay jump. Second to third is what, 700,000. He wants to put himself in position to get those top payouts, and he's done it, right? Because he's currently in second, like you mentioned. He's sitting across from like some of the other big stacks, which is nice for him. And a sigh of relief.
I was actually kind of happy to see these 6.
Sorry?
Because I was kind of happy to see that, because I thought there was a chance the tank was ace-9 off. That was
So Tollerene currently chip leading with 39 bigs. Then we have 3 players with 29 big blinds. Mikita, 𝐽𝐿𝐵𝐷𝐼, and 𝐿
You see Vieira folding Jack-9 suited. Do you think there's a chance that Mikita was the one who created the ICM model? It was like he's the guy. He was the one.
You might be onto something,
Yeah.
Randy.
Guys, you're supposed to fold. And he's like, all right, call.
Yeah.
It was Mikita all along.
Yeah, maybe he came up with some anonymous Discord names and Skype names, hiding his identity, and just started leaking, you know.
He's the Satoshi of the ICM model.
Like random rumors of like this new thing called ICM.
It'll change tournament poker.
Yeah, here he is. 7 left, calling it off. When there's a 3 big blind stack out there. Wow, Joao.
I think Vieira just has to go with it, because 𝐼𝐡's range obviously is very wide off of that shallow stack, and he's kind of the player who can potentially, he can knock out his opponent, and you know, you got a range, you got a perceived range advantage, you can maybe get that little pay jump yourself. I like this play, and I like that he leaves a little bit back, just in case. There we go.
Vieira did raise.
Yep.
Just getting Tollerene out of there. Lee's in front. 58%.
Decent favorite.
17th Triton final table for the Malaysian. Can he hold?
I think you're done, 𝐼𝐡.
Great start.
Great start, not quite.
GG.
Dead on the turn. GG's indeed.
Thank you.
So 𝐼𝐡 Lee getting in his final 3 bigs.
Thank you.
Against Joao Vieira. Got it in good. That's all one can ask for. Crossing the $11 million mark in terms of Triton earnings to 32 cashes now. It's 17th Triton final table. But again, Randy, title number 1 will have to wait as he bows out in 7th for $540,000. So, with that being said, 6 left, 686,000 guaranteed, levels being reduced by 5 minutes. We've got ourselves a bit of a fight here, because we have Vieira and Brewer kind of tied at the bottom of the chip counts with 12 and 11 big blinds respectively. We then have 𝐿𝐵𝐷𝐼, Badziakouski and 𝐽𝐿𝐵𝐷𝐼, all with 29 bigs. And then the chip leader, Tollerene, with 39 big blinds, as producer James Dempsey takes a little 5-minute power nap. It's coming up 1 AM local time. I'm now, I mean, I feel like I've said this a few times, Randy, how excited I am.
Yes.
But we've got Ben Tollerene as chip leader in a very ICM heavy kind of situation. I want to see how he navigates these waters.
Yeah, he's got the chip lead by 10 big blinds. There's actually 3 players with practically the same stack. That's Badziakouski, 𝐿𝐵𝐺, and Ponsri.
Yeah, I just said that, Randy, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you're paying attention.
Well, I was listening to you talk about our producer for a second. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked.
I'm busting your balls, mate. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. But plenty of reasons to stay awake.
I mean, chat's already asking for certain heads-up matches they would like to see.
Yeah? What's being...
I see Joao versus Mikita
That
has
would be
been thrown
cool.
in there.
Honestly, I'm going to just go out there and say this. You could randomly pick any 2 from this 6 and I would be happy. I mean, yeah. I would be happy with any heads up here. I would love to see Mikita against Ben.
That would be very, very, very cool. And again, I think Vieira kind of really showed his chops when he shipped the title earlier. It'd be nice to see him make another deep run. 6s now for Vieira. He's in the cutoff. I guess he just jams, right? 12
Yeah.
big blinds.
I think so. You know, it's been a while since we've had a 2-time champion in one series. So, we'll love to see Vieira, you know, get 3-handed, heads up, give us a bit of a sweat.
And I'm very curious as to why he folded the 6s in this spot.
I mean, there's just so much
What do you think?
to consider here, right? I mean, if he thinks that there are some people who are perhaps playing a bit too loose, you know, aren't as ICM savvy as himself, if he thinks that he does have an edge at this stage of the tournament, you know, I can find reasons.
I mean, I guess he feels that the chips he gain is not worth the risk of putting his tournament life on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only thing that would make sense, given he's on 12. If he was on like 8 or 9, he's mandatory jamming the 6s, I would assume. He's got a little bit of a race with Brewer at the bottom.
Couple of questions from the viewers. Got Playback 67 saying, will they play to a champion tonight? That is the plan, my man. Of course, it is always at the discretion of our tournament director, Luke Vivaldi, but as far as we know, 𝐿𝐵𝐺 has a flight at 8 a.m., so yes is the answer, is that we should most likely be playing to a champion. We have over 10,000 people watching on YouTube. Shout out to all of the viewers on other platforms, including the Triton Poker Plus app. We have Alexandre Honda saying, yo people, I'm from Brazil and love Triton. Push the like button. It costs nothing and helps the game. And I couldn't say it any better. Thank you, Alexandre. And if you haven't already, do click that like button. It really helps us reach a wider audience. And I mean, I know you guys are already aware of this, but Triton just continuing to help grow the game and putting this just elite production out for free on these platforms for your viewing pleasure. So a massive shout out to everyone who is taking part in supporting us by liking and subscribing. It means so much. And I'll throw in an extra caveat. Go and check out some of our content over on Instagram. Some really cool behind-the-scenes interviews with the likes of Ivy, Patrick Antonius, 𝐬𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐿, some of your favorite players. So yeah, if you haven't already done so, do check it out. Thank you. A few people in the chat saying, I don't feel bad if he misses his flight. He's playing for 7 figures. I mean, look, our thoughts as well, you know. I would rather get a good night's rest, come back with a fresh mind, play a final table and battle it out for 7 figures. But, you know, maybe the man's got plans. You know?
I mean, he might have something that's very important that he needs to tend to.
Exactly.
So, you know, we don't know what it is, so we can't really judge. And maybe he just thinks, look, I've been here. These guys are all tired. I'm feeling fresh.
Yeah.
Let's just follow through.
Maybe he's got a jiu-jitsu class to get to.
Maybe a ninjutsu class. He does look like a ninja from time to time.
Okay, Randy's officially lost it, Chad. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it's his mother's birthday tomorrow.
I mean, there is a 1 out of 365 chance that's true.
Is that factoring in February 29th on leap years?
No, that's 366 days. Right?
So it would actually be 1 in 365.25. There's a leap year every 4 years, right? I don't know. What's the chances of being born on a
Actually,
leap year day?
my nephew is actually born on leap day.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? That's
So
wild.
he's like
So
quarter of the age. Well, it's good because you only have to give him so many presents, right, for his lifetime now.
dude, that would be such a troll.
Ace Jack suited.
Don't do it, bats. Although I don't think you'd have a jam, right? It'd just be 3-bet fold.
875.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. 875 on request.
I'm very interested on Vogelsang's response. So Vogel, Badziakouski, similar stack depth, roughly the 30 big blind range, give or take 2 blinds. I mean, ace jack suited, it's quite a good hand against Mikita, who is going to be 3-betting very polar. He probably doesn't expect that many flats as well. So, like, that would mean that Mikita's might be 3-betting hands like ace X offsuit, like this, and even the little ones, right? Like ace 9, ace 5, ace 4. Might even be considering jam if he thinks that Mikita is just so out of line, which we've seen quite a bit from him throughout this week. Kind of like flat though.
I kind of like watching paint dry. Wait, did I just say that out loud?
Yeah, you did.
God damn it. Can I take it back? Is that allowed?
No.
Touch black, take back.
You okay there, buddy?
That's the saying, right?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
No takes backsies. Okay, well, Vogel, deep in the tank, chewing on this decision. A lot to calculate here, of course.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough decision.
Yeah, this is a legit decision. All options on the table.
I just don't think Mikita is the type of guy you can be folding ace jack suited to. I feel like he's between call and 4-bet rip. Yeah. Figured it out. Nicely done, Vogelsang.
If you're going to take your time and fall on the right decision, I mean, what can I say? I'm all for it. Though he did just use up a lot of time banks there. So it does need to be careful and mindful going forward, because I don't think they get any more, Randy.
Yeah, no replenish. I believe they received 5 when they got to the final table, but now he's just down to his remaining 5. But, you know, well spent there. Got it right. was willing to take the risk.
Everyone currently guaranteed 686,000 for their efforts. Playing for just shy of 3 million. 6 remain in the final Hold'em tournament of the series. Let us know whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from. I know there's a lot of Thai people here, so don't worry.
They don't need to tell
You
you.
don't need to tell us. Yeah, we know there's at least 4,000 Thai viewers. But the rest of you, do let us know. Let us know whereabouts in the world you are joining us from. Tollerene just getting a walk. Got Orlando, Florida, Skegness, New York, Singapore, Dubai, Arizona, Canada. Wow, there's a lot of people tuning in from America. What time is it over there?
In America?
It's
It
like between
is.
14 to 17 hours behind.
It is 9 a.m. in the West Coast. So, noon for the East Coast.
Yeah.
They're awake.
What time is it for you back home? You're Melbourne, right?
I am Melbourne.
So about 3 a.m.
Let's see if you're right, because I've got the clock app. Yep, you're correct.
Yeah, 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Melbourne, by the way, one of my favorite cities ever, dude. I went for the first time this year. I didn't call you.
You did not call me, so
Didn't
thank
call
you.
700.
But yeah, I mean, I can see why you live there, man. What a city. Staying in Chinatown.
You were in Chinatown.
Yes, man, I loved it. Just so, it's like, it gave me this like bohemian kind of vibe. It was cool. Is there anyone from Rawai watching?
Where?
Rawai, Phuket. That's what I want to know. I know there's a lot of Thai people. Are there any Thai people in Phuket? More specifically, Rawai. And if you are...
Is that like a village in Phuket or something?
Yeah, if you are, can you go to Wilson's Cafe tomorrow and order me 3 poached eggs on toast with some avocado, bacon, and grilled chicken on the side and tell them I'll be back in a week?
Well, why don't you just order in a week? They gonna run out? You just want to leave it sitting out?
I just wanted to
With
give a
the
shout out
avocado.
to my favorite breakfast spot,
Oh,
man. Why
okay.
are you putting it on blast? Brewer says run it. Oh, hang on. Well, ace 9,
I
no.
don't think so. Doesn't seem close.
Brewer takes it down. Enro saying it took Randy longer to calculate a 3-hour time difference there than a 3x pot raise. Hey, listen, guys. All right? It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Time is really not my strong suit.
Let's be honest. What even is time? You know? Like, what is time?
What do you mean? It's time.
Well, go on and explain it, Randy. What is time?
I don't know how.
Exactly.
It's just a number that keeps moving.
It's a man-made concept. It's made up.
I mean, just like ICM. It's a made-up theory.
We're bringing out all the conspiracy theories now, you know?
Hello, Ace Deuce. Ace on the button, good for a raise. There doesn't really
It's gonna come
seem
with
to be
extremely
any
good
player
delay.
dominating. I mean,
25
it's at that.
minute
Here's a
delay,
nice
but
Ace
it's
King
so
for Panat.
So we are playing at $3 million final table, $3 million.
and somebody's counting by hand. I wanted to throw it out. Chris lost a big pot. I was like, I'm gonna keep it and hold it for a better
There is the 3-bet from Punsri. Understandable stuff so far.
I would have said it got two, but I kept it together.
This hand should be over and done with, which it is. Would have been interesting had Vogel not opened on the button. Brewer would have had a decision. I really want us to start allowing players to have their own anthem during their walkouts. You know, like in boxing, UFC. I know what mine would be.
Go on.
Mine would be Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine.
I have no idea.
Or something like that. You
That's
know?
cool.
What would your go to?
I don't really know it. Me?
Your walkout song.
I don't know what my walkout song would be.
Or like Master of Puppets, Metallica. You know, something to just really strike fear into the hearts of...
Do you have a problem with the soundtrack that Triton drops? Do you want to talk to the sound guy, engineer?
No. I just was saying that I wouldn't mind letting players have their own walkout songs.
Maybe it is allowed, but no one's requested it yet.
Okay,
Possible.
It's more of a player problem then, by the sounds of it. Bit of tanking here from Brewer. I do think blinds are about to go up. They are indeed. So Brewer going to use some time banks here.
So he's trying to force a big blind on Joao Vieira, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, and also picks up EV by being on the button, obviously, when the blinds go up.
Yeah, he's really bleeding time banks into this. Exactly that. Obviously, being in position is nice. Blinds will be a little bit bigger, more value. Mainly, of course, putting Vieira in a bigger big blind incoming soon. Seems to be another minute in the level, so he's probably going to invest one more time bank. Any edge you can get. Seems that this is more worthy than actual potential decisions in the future.
He's got a few time banks. I mean, this is part of the game that I hate, but it's technically, you know, it's not breaking the rules. It's his time banks at the end of the day. Oh, he does let it go. And the blinds are going to go up. So, blinds going up.
Did you had one when you jump on me?
On Vieira. What an absolute treat. We get to sit here in Jeju and watch some of the best in the world play a $125,000 buy-in tournament. And if that wasn't absurd enough already, 93 entries in this one, which, you know, 5 years, not even 5 years ago, but let's just use 5 years as a timeline, as an example, was unheard of. Almost 3 million for first. Blinds up to 75K, 150K.
Couple sixes for Chris Brewer. We don't really tend to see Brewer shy away from aggressive action, looking to chip up. But he's going to step away from this one. Basically saying, look, I've got the lead on Vieira. Just let him blind out first. Does Mikita have a similar game plan of King Jack suited? No. We saw this man call off Ace 6 suited. Like he's
such a
never,
boss,
right?
He really is a boss. I love this guy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see like clearly a different approach to the final table Mikita has to some of these competitors here. Very refreshing. And you actually kind of have to change some of your ranges against a player like that, right? Like Brewer can't actually jam the same range anymore if he sees Mikita calling off a little bit lighter than some others.
There's been a bit of a gridlock since the departure of 𝐼𝐸𝐿. A lot of back and forth, pre-flop jousting. Unlikely to see many flops as things stand, with Vieira on 8 bigs, Brewer on 9, and just given how tight it is. Punsri with a very awkward spot, opening into the chip leader.
When I flipped it this way, I bounced off.
Did he just fold ace queen?
Thank you.
Would you tell us what it is?
Henry,
He did, Randy.
can you pinch me?
Still in the hand, I don't
No way, right?
I think it's going to take more than a pinch. How about I punch you?
Yeah. I mean, you
See if that works.
So is my clock going? 'Cause
No?
I was waiting to figure this out.
The clock is running.
Ace
You
of
shouldn't have
diamonds.
wasted last
Ace of
time.
diamonds. Ace of diamonds.
Okay.
I honestly
Can I have 2 water?
cannot understand that one, Henry.
1.3.
So there is the effective jam from Brewer. I'm still in shock as well.
Weird spot.
It was very strange.
He was healthy. 24 big blinds to start. Why?
It must just snap.
So it's. I
But
mean,
you
I'll
could
show
also
my
be
hand.
wrong
It's a wheel
sometimes.
spot. Like I folded you, but then it's also wheeled when I know there's an ace. It's not like.
You had ace of diamonds, right? Ace what? Ace queen? Oh my god.
But I don't know what. But I don't know what to do because like now I can't change my card and I can't open jam. Yeah, I can't open
I
jam.
mean, yeah. I mean,
You should
I
just
think
go all
you
in.
do. I think you just open jam. No, I think you do.
You just snapped it.
Yeah, you just go all in.
Okay.
It still has to be better
Problem
than
solved.
folding. I bet it's still.
Yeah, but if he sees queen,
That's true. If you saw the, but it doesn't matter, right? You just
Well,
you can't really do anything.
Not gonna play with 7.
So now it makes
Yeah, I mean,
a bit
even
more
if you-
sense,
honestly,
Randy.
Doesn't matter. Like,
Actually, the spot gets hilarious if you saw like a queen and you look down at like 10s.
yeah.
Because you just know you're flipping.
I mean, he overcard or he's jamming queen.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think
Could also be jamming
you
queens
actually
just
have to,
because they don't want to see it. Yeah.
No, you actually have to start making crazy folds, I think.
It's a really funny dynamic.
Yeah, so if the range is like ace queen, ace king, and then like aces.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know which card he saw, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
high
just
pocket
That ace
pair
of
or
diamonds.
super, something super high. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm saying it's like if you have like jacks, you just have to fold.
I mean, in equilibrium, we probably jamming 5 suited as well.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Randy.
Go ahead.
Ben 86 saw the ace of diamonds flash. Punsri looked at his hand, and sure enough, ace of diamonds, queen of spades, as we saw. And he wasn't sure how to proceed. It's a weird spot. Does he table the ace and then get another card from the dealer, which is sometimes something you know you're supposed to do? And he just decided to just fold. Like it was just such a weird spot, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. It seems definitely that the ace was shown
I mean, the game doesn't stop. It just keeps running.
Yeah, no, I have no issue with it.
5 seconds.
Yeah, it seems like he was the one who flushed the card as well, right? Because
Right.
if it was a dealer, then he could have got a new card.
Right.
It's a wild, like, swing though.
Yeah, and Brewer was even saying that, you know, yeah, you're just supposed to just open jam. It's a really weird spot.
Yeah,
It was not a weird spot for Punsri. Trips after opening under the gun, and value to be extracted, by the way. 8-2-5 out there. It's the first time we've seen a flop in quite some time, understandably so. Sixes are going to be good on this board a lot of the time.
That would be nice. That one looks
yeah,
valuable.
focusing definitely will be
Maybe it's not. But it
calling
looks
at least
valuable.
one.
Yeah, it's not a good it's not a good one for poker.
Yeah. It looks like I would like it like in the city on like a decently cold day.
Min bet to start things off. Punsri, 2 6s. Seems like a decent spot to check call. Occasionally check raise to kind of clear out equity.
Comes with check call. We have a pot brewing. This is between second and third in chips. Club giving put out a flush draw to go along with his 3 of a kind. And, you know, a troublesome card for Vogelsang, Randy, given that it is an undercard to the sixes.
Yeah, so the 2 6s still looks quite strong. Can still keep clubs honest. You can keep like an ace 3, ace 5 honest if they decided to double barrel, which they'll do occasionally.
5 seconds.
750.
750K. Punsri pretty much attacking pocket pairs.
And we've seen Vogelsang call down 2 streets with Queen High correctly, might I add, against Ben Tollerene. 2.6 million in the middle. Whoever wins this pot is going to be chip leader. Ten of spades completes the run out. Vogelsang unblocking clubs, unblocking. You know, you'd rather call with 6s than 5s, for example.
Check.
You don't want to be blocking a hand like ace 5.
Yeah, I feel like Vogelsang has put on enough resistance with the 6s where he probably doesn't need to call triple barrel. Like, Vogelsang definitely has some king X's in his range, so I don't feel like he needs to call off 3 streets here.
Seconds. Fine.
Let's see, so Punsri can try to get value from pocket pairs. Maybe an ace 10 of clubs that somehow got there. Obviously not many combos of that.
5 seconds.
Just deems the kicker is an issue and doesn't think a hand like 6s will call 3 streets. Gonna guess he always bets like king jack plus. With king 9, you'd have to rely on your opponent to have like king 8, king 7, king 6.
Yeah, an interesting one to see him just opt that hand not good enough to bet 3 streets with, given the current table dynamic. I can get behind it.
Yeah, if you don't feel like a non-king is going to call, then there's just so few hands that can pay you off. And he expected king 10 plus, like king 10, king jack, king queen to still play as check call, flop and turn.
Yeah.
Didn't want to value own himself. I'm sure it's probably a pretty close spot with king 9.
Yeah, I think you really nailed it with when you said, you know, king jack probably looking for value. King 9 is probably where the line is drawn. 6 remain. Thailand's Punsri is currently the chip leader, looking for his 3rd trophy. A win here today would also take Punsri north of the 20 million in Triton earnings mark.
Are you losing or gaining weight during the trip?
Decent spot for Vogelsang to actually check it over
Are you
to
losing or gaining weight
the big stack.
Not gaining.
Stay same?
Probably.
Like he can still get value from ace x if he checks because Puna will probably bet it. He's going to bet himself.
I weighed myself
Small
on
bet.
like day 3, so I'll check at the end.
I lost.
Just backdoors for
12 pounds
Punsri.
deal last year, or 10 pounds or something deal last year, but I think this year I probably have gained a pound or 2. Gained a lot more this year.
How about you?
Why'd you lose 17?
I think I'll lose.
Little
but
float
I prefer
incoming.
just Some days if I'm getting deep in the tournament and I'm not eating, and then like...
Yeah, I ate a little bit less these runs, but everything else is just a normal day. I ate
Well, how about a full
similar
house
breakfast, similar during the day.
on the
Workouts
turn?
similar.
Punsri drawing dead. Vogelsang just asking the guys to quieten down a bit as they talk about how much they've gained and lost during this event. I believe I overheard Brewer say he lost 12 pounds during the last Jeju trip, and Tollerene saying he's lost 6 or 7 kilos so far this trip. I mean,
So they just don't eat while playing.
makes sense. Snap fold from Punsri.
Gotta be
I'm just
disappointing.
eating much less. I've been having deep runs, and then you can either have breakfast or you can sleep. One of the two.
Not a bunch of instant meal this time, which has been very nice for at night.
How do you make it?
You just use those little water. Those they have one of the.
Kettle?
Yeah, they have a kettle in the pavilion.
Oh,
So you
that's
just,
smart.
Yeah, you just put some water in it, heat it up.
I'm gonna do the 𝐮𝐿 and bring 1 bag of clothes and then 1 bag of just like food and.
Yeah, I didn't quite go that extreme. I just bought a bag of oatmeal, but I think I'm gonna keep doing it. It's a nice little like 200 calorie thing at the end of the night if you're kind of hungry, or 2 packs and 400 calories or whatever. And I mean, I have the sugary one, but if you care about, you can knock at the sugary one.
So pocket fours for Vieira. He's getting very short.
700.
He's there by himself, so he needs to try and chip up.
No customer in Tollerene. One would assume no customer in Vogelsang.
Yeah, off versus what, 1.1 effective?
Yeah, 2 players behind as well.
It's a hijack open, which should be a little bit tighter. And 2 players act, like you mentioned, is quite relevant in the blinds.
Yeah, I mean, he's covered by Punsri. That would be a disaster to call 700 and then have to fold. If Punsri wanted to play for it all. Chewed on it for a bit. Ace 9 for Punsri.
One
He's asking
pip
for
up.
a count.
Behind. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, the difference here is that Punat doesn't have any big stacks remaining, right? It's just Brewer in the big blind on 1.4. And of course, 1 pip is helpful. 1 player less to act behind him.
Yeah, and he knows he's going to be ahead of a lot of Vieira's range here. Suited broadways, weaker ace-x. You know, the 9 kicker is very decent.
Yeah, it seems like he's on the cusp.
Hold on.
So there is the jam.
I fold.
Brewer gets out of there with ace-10.
No.
Ace 10?
Yeah, he's gone off.
That is fantastic news for Vieira. 2 aces dead.
The question is, would you want to go if you see these cards?
Yeah,
Not clear.
I think so.
Yeah,
But-
for extra chips, yeah.
Yeah, I have enough to gap.
2.5 million in the middle.
I definitely want to go.
There is a dirty way to do this for Punsri. 7, 9, or the case ace. Doesn't find it.
Nice hand.
Vieira doubling up to 2.5.
It's funny. It's
1-1.
It's a way closer up spot for me if he actually jams, but leaves the 400K behind. Like I'm saying, if he's actually all in, then it's like kind of it can get kind of interesting. With 400K behind,
That's kind of interesting. He's here, Brewer, saying that the fact that Vieira left 400K behind made it more difficult for him, making it more likely he has to fold ace 10 because there's a chance that when Punat rejam, obviously that covers Brewer and Brewer calls off. Vieira's just like, well, maybe I get a page jam, just folds and preserves the 400K, you know?
Yeah, it's fascinating, the intricacies of this game. Had anyone else called, Vogelsang or Brewer, Vieira would have been out of here. But he managed to find the one customer he got to double up against.
Running back? No?
Not this time. How about ace-king for our chip leader? Things have changed now, courtesy of that Vieira double up. Brewer is the shortest stack with 10 bigs.
Can Vogelsang show some restraint? Ace 5 suited.
3-bet to 5-bet. Not the 3-5, Randy. Surely not.
No, just the
rip?
three fold. Or just outright fold. That's really nice from him. You know, some players, they just see ace 5 suited, feel like they have to go for 2 queens. It's in against the ace king.
God, this is first against third in chips. With Brewer on 10 big blinds. Punsri is going to be running this one after doubling up Vieira just the hand before. Seen 1 ace folded.
Maybe I should call. I don't know.
The classic incoming.
God damn, someone work out how much this is worth. In EV. There's the jam. Good luck, chaps. I mean, you never want to see it come down to this. This is for overwhelming chip lead. This is for about 40% of the chips in play. With 6 left, if Ben can find an ace or a king, he eliminates Punat Punsri. He would then be overwhelming chip leader. If Punsri can hold, Tollerene is down to the shortest stack. 5 crucial cards to come. It comes ace, queen, jack, middle set for Punsri, top pair, top kicker, but more importantly, a gut shot for Ben. Drawing to a 10 and a 10 only. Doesn't find it. Punsri gets the double. Now has 40% of the chips in play. And just like that, Tollerene goes from chip leader to 6th in chips.
In Thailand, they're loving it.
What a crazy turn of events, all on the back of that call with the ace-9 against Vieira's fours. No butterfly effect. God, you could have heard a pin drop out there when everyone else realized that all the money was going in between 1st and 3rd in chips. It's tense out there, playing for millions of dollars. Everyone guaranteed 686,000. There's a lot more than just money on the line, of course. There is legacy. Mikita looking for his 6th title. Punat, Brewer, and Tollerene looking for their 3rd. Both 𝐽𝐲 and Vieira looking for their 2nd. Wow.
He's king again for Tollerene. Looking for some vengeance.
I mean,
it's a great hand, of course, off of his stack.
I hope so. Leave the chip behind.
No action so far. Do we have anything?
All in.
Oh, all in. What does Vieira got? 2 jacks. Another coin flipping coming. Tollerene once again ace-king.
Randy, what on earth is going on? It's been a gridlock since the departure of Kiat Lee. Tollerene has held the chip lead for most of 6-handed play, and in the space of back-to-back hands, is he just going to be out of here in 6th? 2 cards to come. It's looking likely. Ace or a king needed.
River card incoming.
Doesn't find it. And just like that, ace-king twice, unable to win a flip. First against queens for about 70% of his stack. And then against jacks of Vieira. For the remaining 9 big blinds, we lose one of the greatest to have ever played the game. Ben Tollerene
Roughly how?
out in 6th for $686,000. And you know, Randy, I don't think he's not going to look back on that and think he did anything wrong. Let's be honest. I mean, just played fantastically. We really got to witness some incredible defensive play style from Ben. And of course, that absolutely absurd bluff against 𝐽𝐲 with the 9-5 at the start of the final table. But variance in poker, my friend, is something we've spoken about time and time again. Loses 2 flips and goes from 1st to out in 6th.
In back-to-back hands, there's nothing he can do with ace-king. And we're down to 5. Big chip leader going to open up ace-queen suited.
Yeah, sometimes you're just dealt out of the tournament. So.
Pretty wild. Just get dealt ace-king off twice and just get kicked out of the tournament.
Showers.
No, I know, but you talk about being like dealt out. Like that's such a whole lot.
Well, Brewer, if you ever want to commentate, mate, there's a job for you.
Well, at least he did it after Ben Tollerene left.
Yeah, there's been some savagery so far this trip.
Look at Vogel folding ace-7 offsuit.
You have bottom set, I have top set. Bye.
I see him as real.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
What was that? What was that?
Oh, just be quiet. You're fine.
think that was very respectful of Christoph. I'm a fan of that. They wanted to do it off camera. Didn't kind of, you know, just like aggressively say it over the table. Just stood up, went over, said, "Hey, Brewer, you know, in a spot here, could you mind just quieting down a little bit? We're playing for 3 million."
And yeah, very understandable. There's definitely a lot to think about.
Now, penalty shootouts, Champions League finals. Good luck getting the fans to quieten down.
Excuse me, we need to do this penalty kick.
There's been some, you know, debates on social media that the poker players have it really good compared to other sports in terms of, you know, just time banks pre-flop, you know, how easy they have it, where, you know, compare it to speed chess where you have to make these high-level decisions in split seconds, or, as we mentioned, you know, penalty shootouts where you have a crowd of 70,000 cheering, you know. We got it pretty good.
Yeah.
All in.
Puna Punsri. He knows how to use that big stack.
25 big blind rejam, I mean, that's
It's like, Joe, it's good luck calling because
you're second in chips, pal, yeah.
And Brewer is sitting on 9 bigs.
Well, Brewer is now going to be in the big blind, so he has to put in around 20% of his stack. Punsri extends. He's the only player with more than average stack of 25 big blinds.
A gorgeous hand.
What is that?
Queen Jack 3.
I'll have.
Jack 7 off.
Gorgeous hand.
Ace 10 for the chip leader now. He's going to be jamming into the short stack.
Yeah, he has to jam because he can't rely on Brewer to attack his limps.
No decision for Brewdog.
Punsri's running away with it.
Well, at the time of that massive flip, it was, what, first against third? When he got the queens in against Ben Tollerene's ace-king and held. Ace queen now for Vieira. Second in chips. Now he's already been pounced on once by the chip leader.
I mean, you still just have to race and just pray Punsri doesn't reshove on you once again. And he has 2 jacks. A collision incoming?
I mean, is there? I don't know.
I don't know.
know.
Punsri will 3-bet this spot, and Joao is strongly going to consider reshoving ace-queen, expecting Punsri to just kind of leverage that chip lead on him, you know? Like, I wouldn't blame Joao thinking that the ace-queen is going to just see a lot of folds if he was to put in the 4-bet all-in. Obviously, we need to weight that decision if it's worth the risk, the chips we gain, relative to outlasting Brewer, who is very short.
I honestly, I don't know, Randy. I don't know what to do in this spot. You're second in chips. You just got jammed on. Now the chip leader has 3-bet on you once again.
All in.
There's
He's all
the
in.
jam.
Yeah, he's snapping.
So we are flipping.
I mean, that's an alright hand to see when you get snapped off.
We are flipping for Joao Vieira's tournament life. They both just won big flips. Punsri held with the queens against Ben Tollerene's ace-king, and then Vieira held with the jacks against Tollerene's ace-king. If Punsri can hold here, he's going to have more than 50% of the chips in play.
Good flop for Punsri.
77% equity now with 2 cards to come. And just turns Vieira dead. Punsri up to 12 million chips. And Randy, given that there's only 17 and a half
I always feel bad doing it.
million chips in play, title number 3 looks like it's incoming. As we lose Joao Vieira in 5th for the last of
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
the 6-figure payouts. Vieira, number 1 on Portugal's all-time money list. He's going home with $878,000, and what an incredible series for him. Took down the 150K for 4.6 million. Now picking up another healthy score here in the 125K. But ultimately, as we all know, you have to win flips to win tournaments. Started the hand second in chips, and Vieira, in Vieira fashion, not one to turn down a sword fight. Knows that Punsri is going to be a lot lighter than pocket jacks there, but unfortunately for Joao, just running into top of range. Thailand's number 1 with 81 big blinds. Vogelsang in 2nd with 22. Mikita with 15.
I snapped
Brewer with 7.
But maybe if I was doing Kenny sick or something.
I mean, how about Chris Brewer just sitting back and sliding into the 7-figure club?
Yeah, it's managed to ladder a couple of spots.
300?
And now Punsri just gets to RFI the king deuce.
Yeah, he's just going to raise
They're on the
like
break, right?
maybe even any 2. 8-7 offsuit into the muck. Nicely done, Punsri. What a
So-
run.
Can I have my phone?
Jeju Island in South Korea, 2 a.m. local time. And these guys are all guaranteed a 7-figure payday as they return to the felt to duke it out four-handed. We have awarded $40 million in prize pool money today. Or I should say, by the conclusion of this event, we will have awarded 40 million. We obviously had that 100K main event wrap up earlier. We also have the 25K PLO running in the background. 117 runners in a 25K PLO. It's none other
Then
than Dirk Diggler, baby. Dirk Diggler.
You got it from them.
Benny
Smith?
Vidi.
I got Dan's lucky out.
Currently chip leading. Got Phil Ivey in that one. E-list passing in. Eric Seidel, 𝐬𝐮𝐿, Nacho Barbero.
Yeah, see.
That's a fun one. They're on the bubble as well. 19 paid in that, 21 left. Who's going to be first to flinch in this one? Just saw Brewer get a jam through. Small blind, the big blind. Punsri with queen high. There is the jam. Brewer's got 6.5 bigs back.
snaps it off. What's he got? Oh, great spot for Brewer, dominating the queen 5. Nothing to lose, so has to take these high chip EV spots. Giving these last 10 chips.
All brought to you by WPT Global. I don't know why, Randy, but whenever Brewer gets it in ahead, I just always feel like it's going to lose.
Okay, he's not going to lose on this board.
But it's going to be tough, yeah. 5 of spades for a sweat.
I think the run bad Brewer thing is no longer a
Thing of the past?
Yeah.
No, it just took me a second to 12.75.
Myers? Can I ask a waiter, please?
Give me.
Okay, that changes things because Brewer has doubled up. He got the early double, which is exactly what he needed coming into four-handed play.
Oh, 12.75, yeah.
So he is actually now tied with Vogelsang in second. Mikita moves down to fourth in chips with 11 big blinds.
Yeah, so now all eyes on Mikita. Still, though, the game plan is the same for Pernod. Just jam relentlessly into these stacks. Very similar. They're hoping to outlast one another. Trying to get into that podium finish. Little King 10 for Vogelsang. Might even just fold this. He's got the chip leader right behind him. Earliest position. Yeah, that makes sense. It's more about outlasting your opponents right now, especially because of how much of a lead Punsri has. You don't really need to kind of chase him at the moment. Try to get the immediate pay jumps. Yeah, jamming, of course, with Queen Jack suited.
Like Bob Marley and the Whalers, Punat Punsri is jamming. Really is a game of cat and mouse right now. The difference between fourth and second is just shy of 1 million. And it does feel like Mikita, Chris, Christoph are just looking to get heads up. You see Punsri just jab the 9-5 suited. He knows how to play the chip lead.
Yeah, he's just very aware that these calling ranges are going to be so narrow. I mean, if he's jamming 9-5 suited in the cutoff, he might be jamming, you know, towards that 82. I mean, I assume he probably has some raised folds with some of the really dusty stuff, but we'll see. Vogel, 9-8 offsuit.
You're going to try and get a cheeky limp through?
I don't know. I mean, he might. Technically, he would try and trap Vogel. I mean, he would try and trap Punsri if he did have a good hand, right? So it doesn't hurt for him to try, but he's just trying to preserve chips. It's got to be quite a easy spot at the moment for Punsri. Everyone just folds to you.
Yeah, he's almost back to 12.5 million. Obviously, after losing that all-in against Brewer just by getting a few jams through. Mikita Badziakouski, 5-time champion, made that epic call-off earlier on with the A6 to just really give himself a chance to go on and win this tournament. Queen 4 suited. It's good enough. One would have to assume.
All in.
Yeah, he jammed Queen 5 offsuit. Same spot. For Ace 5 into the muck.
Wow.
Straight into the muck. It's kind of funny because I saw Mikita kind of call off Ace 6 suited. And kind of a similar scenario, right? It was actually for more blinds.
Feels very different.
Just because the pay jumps are bigger.
I have no fucking clue.
You mean what you had right now? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just what I was supposed to call. I was saying I was trying to like decide in my head, and I was like, I don't know.
There's Queen for Vogel. Does he just rip this one in, or does he come with non-all-in?
I mean, probably non-all-in, just to kind of, yeah, just leave a little bit back. Just in case, just more for balancing purposes, of course.
Oh.
Ace Jack suited. I feel like a collision's incoming.
Of course. Cold deck, four-handed.
All in.
It's good news for the other short stacks. Problem is, Vogelsang's got the goods.
Yeah, ace queen.
Seems like the easy one for Punat.
MUMI.
Here, Danny Tang on the rail, calling for a jack or some diamonds for his good friend Punat Punsri. Vogelsang just looking to hold. So far, so good. Some chop outs now for Punat.
Ace.
8.
Ace, king, 8, 5. Would have chopped it, but the ace queen plays on the 7 of clubs river. Vogelsang up to 5.2 million, Punsri down to 10. And now things really do shift, Randy, because Punsri cannot continue just open jamming into all three players, given that Vogelsang is playing 5 million.
Yeah, I mean, still though, Vogelsang needs to be quite snug. Yes, 26 big blinds, it's a bit much for Punsri to kind of just open jam some of the hands that he's been jamming. So very reasonable to see Punat adjust with some open raises, maybe a bit more. But of course, Punsri has a position on Vogelsang, so he gets to see what Vogelsang does first in this next hand, which helps.
The show goes on.
Yeah, Vogel's actually the big blind in this pot. Yeah, so let's see, what kind of sizing does he go for? Does he just start raising once again rather than open rip?
I've got a question for you, Randy.
Well, the game plan is the same. He does jam. Go ahead.
How many calories do you think Vogelsang burns every day by putting the hood down and then up
Easy.
in between hands?
It can't be very many, can it?
You don't have to ante twice.
What do you suggest the answer is?
I mean, I guess it depends how deep he runs in the tournament, right? I mean, if you're putting your hood up and down every hand, let's say you're playing
What do you guys think about an even
25 hands, let's call it 20 hands an hour. It's 2 a.m., so they've been playing for 13 hours. Call it 12 with breaks.
You think the
I mean,
lactic
dude,
acid is building from
Dude, I
him
reckon
doing this exercise?
Yeah, man. I think he's burnt like at least 300.
Okay. Lord Vogel. Now his chip stack can do some damage. I feel like he can get away with some limps more now off of this stack. Let's see if he can get through as he does call for 200. Poonsri's got that type of hand that likes to isolate from the big. You're supposed to raise very often when small blind limps into you, especially when you got the bigger stack. I want to punish those weak hands. And he probably just gets his king 7 out. Yeah, there we go. 9-3 offsuit.
Okay.
There's the punish.
130.
Just as expected.
I'm 100% sure that Julie's in bed. I knew it was that time, at least.
Especially in those giveaways, you can win a 1-year elite subscription to help sharpen your skills and crush the competition.
Queen 5 offsuit, we've seen this. And before for Poonsri in the small blind, he jammed it last time.
There's brutal. Bads is down to 2.1. Sorry, 1.1. Just 5 bigs.
Like, eternal feel that like someday I'm gonna have a fold and I'm gonna like accidentally say call as I'm folding or something. I mean,
or like you misclick by speaking or something.
yeah, or like I'm gonna drop a chip. Like it's never happened to me, but I'm always like in that spot. I'm always just like, dude, what if I did that?
Yeah.
If you have the, I feel like everyone's had the poker dream where you like you think you have quads in the dream and you like show your hand and it's nothing. You're like, what?
Have you ever live misclicked, Randy?
Yeah, certainly have. I feel like a lot of players have, right? Especially in the early years of their career. Like folding the best hand. You know, when you don't understand how to read, like play the board, like that's a common one, right? King Jack, gonna jam on the button for Poonsri. Mikita's got Jack 10 offsuit. I mean, I feel like he kind of needs to go for it.
He's made the call, Randy.
Yeah.
And he's going to see the really bad news.
King Jack.
You can see the glass is off.
King Jack in this spot.
Just, how do you have King Jack here, Punat? Bad's in trouble. 26% equity, 5 cards to come. Jack high board, but his kicker issues still a problem post flop. Does pick up some outs. A 9 would give him a straight. 1 card to come. Can the 5-time champ convert this 16% to stay alive? Or is he going to be bowing out in 4th? Oh!
Bink.
Hello!
Nice hand.
Yeah,
Brewer's like, nice hand.
5-time champ is still in.
No. It's on my button. No, you're fine.
Is it coffee time?
I mean,
we're gonna round it up.
2.1 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been
3rd in chips.
Yeah, it's overtaken Brewer.
Okay.
Dude, I've had so many espressos that cardiac arrest might actually be a potential issue for me. I need to cut down. I need a bet. I need like a non-caffeine bet. Anyone wants to wager some money for charity? I mean, I'll do it for free. Randy, I'll give you a free roll.
1 second. Jack 10 suited.
4 million.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. What? Mikita's got Queen Jack, the dominating hand.
I have 250 behind.
The bigger stack. We've seen Mikita just go for it, haven't we? If he feels that Queen Jack is doing okay against the button jamming range, is very reasonable. He continues. It's a 7 big blind jam, right? 8. It might be pretty close here with Queen Jack off.
Does also have 𝐽𝐽𝐽
Puts in the call.
in the big blind.
𝐽𝐽's got ace queen.
Well, well, well.
It does 3 ways. They're committed.
Are we about to see a double KO to get us heads up? There's the jam. Now, Randy, good luck solving this one. Brewer's got 250 back. There's just too much money in the middle. Surely here we cannot be thinking about potentially laddering one spot.
He can't because he's out of position to Mikita, right? Like if he folds, Mikita can just fold and then it's 250 versus 700K remaining stack. Brewer's first act, so he has to just call it off here rather than try to outfold Mikita. It's just literally impossible.
Like we want to play for the win, right? Am I right in saying that? I could be wrong. I don't know. Like, are we just meant to be thinking about
How many timings have I used?
the ladder?
Okay.
It just wouldn't make any sense because
So I've used 2 now.
he folds,
Okay, yep.
Mikita can just fold, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
No, he can never fold this.
And then Brewer's going to be forced all in 2 hands time, right? So. And surely the size of the pot, 1.4 million.
I mean, this would be a nightmare to see, you know, to see you folding.
Yeah. Ah! Actually, my equity's not that bad, yo.
You have like
It's not. He actually has more
I think I have like
than
a
bats.
kind of
3 ways. Randy, very rare situation here. 4-handed, we're seeing a 3-way all in.
I mean, I have no idea if I have a folding range after you fold.
Yeah. I was scared.
And it's the guy that covers both players that has the best hand. So all Christoph needs to do is hold.
Dude has like 40%, yo.
Just put a jack for us.
I don't have
one with a diamond.
4. Let's have a 4. 3-way chop.
That'd be great.
3-way chop?
3-way chop would be hilarious.
I don't think 𝐽𝐽 wants that.
Wow, they're just both dead on the turn. Ace of clubs seals both Mikita and Brewer's fate. So just like that, we go from 4-handed.
And then find a fold.
Yeah. But then
So
you might
heads
fold
up.
more too.
Yeah. And we both fucked.
Yeah. I don't think I can fold jack unsuited. I get 4.
So 1.348 million. For Mikita.
Well done.
I think I fold like ace-x, but I don't fold.
Apologies, Randy and I just didn't want to talk over the post-mortem between Brewer and Mikita. But of course, at the start of that hand, Bats had Brewer covered, so he's going home with 3rd place money, 1,348,000. Brewer is going home with 1,093,000. And just like that, we're heads up. Christoph 𝐽𝐽𝐽 against Punat Puntsri, 51 bigs, plays 42. They're both guaranteed 2,057,000. They're playing for 2,994,000. Punat Puntsri looking for his 3rd title. 𝐽𝐽𝐽 looking for his 2nd. About to battle it out for the additional 90K. And of course, that coveted Triton trophy. 𝐽𝐽𝐽 $6,376 in Triton earnings, 1 title, 20 cashes. Punat Punsri, $17,329,000 in Triton earnings, 2 titles, and 25 cashes. That is without the money they've locked up here, of course.
I mean, Punsri's got a partner. A little soft plushie on the side.
Yeah, is that allowed? I thought
2-on-1, okay.
Is he allowed to like ask him mid-hand?
I mean, sure, but he might need to be a bit quiet. Vogelsang does have ears.
Vogelsang's got the barking shark as well, so perhaps some bite back. Punsri gonna check the option out of the big. How about a flush with a straight flush redraw? But more importantly, Punsri's got a piece.
Yeah, and that little piece could get Punsri in a little bit of trouble. And Vogelsang's hand does want to get value out of pairs and a little bit of protection against some bigger clubs that might linger in Punat's range.
So there's the 1 big blind stab, as anticipated. Punsri with a really tough one. I mean, Vogel already interested in inflating the size of the pot. You have bottom pair with no real future clarity and visibility on turns and rivers.
I just think you would be folding too much,
of course,
to fold a pair in heads up. It's a little bit different when you're playing like button versus big blind, ring kind of table. Because here, obviously, a pair can call down much easier because of the wide ranges of the player in position. Vogel gonna try to get max from Jack X.
Yeah, obviously a beautiful hand to do it with, unblocking all of the pairs. Wants to size up and try and play a big pot straight off the bat in this heads-up match. He's also got a flight to catch, as we said, so he wants this
speedy,
over and done with. It's the play big pots. Punsri out of there. These two practically tied. I mean, this day is just going to go down in Triton poker history. $40 million in prize pool money awarded today. We kick things off with 16 players left in the $100,000 main event, the largest ever 6-figure buy-in tournament in poker history. We saw China's champion. I mean, look, this guy came in with a lot of swag, coming in against some of the Triton OGs to then take it down for 5.5 million. And now we have this 125K with 3 million up top. Shout out to Huang Wenji for taking down that main event. Jungle Man Dan came second for 3.5 million. And now we've got Punsri squaring off against Vogelsang.
We have something that could be of interest here. Bottom pair versus the flush draw. Definitely see Punsri just, kind of protect his hand a little bit. Just a pair of threes. Check is okay as well. Looking to clear out equity. Clearly that's not going to work against 𝐸𝐸𝐻's flush draw.
Question is, does Vogel play this one aggressively?
Probably not. Well, it looks like he is grabbing chips. It depends on how you play the rest of your ranges. You know, if you're check raise bluffing a bit more, then you want to be able to make some hands when you do get called. I suppose he's check raising some king X's on the flop, otherwise he's just too heavily weighted to draws or just pure air balls. Hand might not be over yet. It is kind of a big raise, 4x. But then again, like, the 3 could be good. He's got some decent properties for backdoors with the 7 of hearts. He's clicking it back. So he believes the 3 is a bit vulnerable, of course. And he blocks some of the value. So 2 pairs, basically.
A limped pot has turned into a 3-bet pot. On the flop, king 4-3, 2 hearts, and we have bottom pair against the jack high flush draw. 3.8 million in the middle. Ace of clubs on the turn. 𝐸𝐸𝐻 now picking up additional outs. What's going on, Randy?
Like, okay, so Punsri 3-bet back. 3-bet the flop?
Does he just has an insane read on the situation and just always puts 𝐸𝐸𝐻 on flush draws or some, you know, 7, 5, 5, 6, but it feels so unlikely when he has the 7 of hearts in hand.
Yeah, clearly he blocked some of that. We are playing heads up, so there's a lot of the other garbage out there, like, just more so. Regardless, though, I guess the question is, does he want to turn the 3 into a bluff? For him to have 3-bet the flop, like he's blocking value, basically, which is 2 pair. King 3, 3, 4.
5 seconds.
Oh, that's weird.
Check.
He checks it back. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. 2 pair. Vogel just has jack high.
Oh, what a river card for Punsri.
It's very disguised, of course. And Punsri's range looks pretty weak, man. He 3-bet the flop and check back that turn. Vogel might just try and represent like the 6-5. I could see it.
Yeah, Punsri now able to absorb aggression a lot easier, given this 7 of spades on the river.
Like, Vogel has 6-5. He's got deuce 5.
Do the open-enders check raise flop, though? That is the question, right?
They might. They're more likely to the deeper they are, which they started with, what, 40 big blinds or so. They're less likely on 20 big blinds and less, just because they're not looking to get chips in. How many chips is he pushing? Is he pushing all of them, Henry?
It certainly looks that way, Randy. He's left 50k back. It's close to a 2x river pot effective jam. Punsri's river 2 pair is the best card in the deck for him, other than a 3, of course. But still losing to those flop 2 pairs that you were talking about.
I mean, he beats 3-4 if that's a thing, so a little bit of value he beats. He doesn't block the straights at all. Deuce 5, 5, 6. But his hand is so under rep that he might feel very compelled to call. Like, Punsri could have, like, King, Queen, King, Jack that might have 3-bet the flop and be scared of the ace.
Yeah, and would a hand like 7, 5,
Says he
7,
can't fold.
The one chip flick in. Can't fold. And Punat Punsri has 18.6 million chips. Vogelsang is down to a quarter of a big blind, Randy, after running a monster bluff. And in Vogelsang's defense, on any other river, it just works. 7 of spades, one of the few rivers where Punat can just comfortably call off there for that size. And now has 9 fingers. I mean, let's
9.9.
I was about to say,
fingers.
yeah, you know, like on the trophy. What a savage bluff from Vogelsang. And it's so easy to be results oriented, of course. Any other river, it just works, man.
I think you're right. And obviously he had equity to just get there too because he had a flush draw.
So
he's in 10-3 offsuit. The plushie's happy.
number 1 on Thailand's all-time money list, 2-time champion with 64% equity, has the best hand. All he needs to do is hold. If he does, he's going to be joining the 3-time champion club, and it's looking pretty good on the King 7 deuce. Will be turning Vogelsang dead a lot of the time. No 10, no 3, and Punsri is champion.
He is.
6 of clubs.
Thank you.
Seals Christoph's fate.
I think you're very, very good. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Always nice.
I love
to
that.
play with you. Thank you.
You love to see it.
They do.
The sportsmanship between Vogelsang and Punsri. And of course, the hugs from Danny Tang, Kiat Lee, Lun Lun, Michael Soiser. Punsri, the 125K 7-handed champion. Christoph Vogelsang, second place finish, 2,456,000. He's going to be heading back to the room, packing his bags. He's got an early flight, but he is picking up 7 figures on this trip. And the respect there shown by Punsri.
To start the trip, but I was always on trip.
Saying thank you to Vogelsang for making a deal. Punsri kind of just saying, look, I know that you're a heads-up, no-limit specialist, and for you to even entertain a deal, you know, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, the mutual kind of respect. So, big fan of that. I'm glad we got to kind of listen into that little exchange there after